guys, welcome to another episode of the O2 Garage, and if you are enjoying our videos, please feel free to hit like and subscribe if you like the videos that we are producing. But right now we are cruising along in the Dodge Phoenix. It's end of the week, I think it's a Friday, something like that. I'm just cruising around, putting out the vibe, doing what I do, using my old car. And one of the things I've noticed about driving this car is that at certain speeds, steering wheel, this old steering wheel here, it's lovely, beautiful two-tone, white with black on the bottom. It's got the chrome horn button in the middle, lovely steering wheel. But it just, when you get up to those higher speeds, it's just not too stable. And you know, you need to be able to grip the wheel. And I've got pretty big sort of mutton hands, as you can see, and I like a good solid steering wheel. Now, I drive a Pajero, and my wife has a little Mazda SP15, and all the modern steering wheels have got quite a large foam content on the wheel, and they're also quite small in design. And it's kind of funny because if you're an old car guy like me, you look at the steering wheels in the modern cars and they're like 14, 15 inch, really, you know, big foam steering wheels. So the reality of it is whilst this Dodge is lovely and everything works and it's great and all, at high speed, as you can see, I just don't have the grip on the steering wheel. So that means that I've wanted to try and find another wheel for this Dodge. That has not been an easy journey. To find a sports steering wheel to fit the 1963 Dodge Phoenix. Remember, this is an Australian Phoenix with a right-hand drive steering column and so forth. There's no listings. It's almost impossible. You have to go to somewhere like America where there's a thing called a Dodge 440 sedan, which is the American cousin, and maybe you could get something like a Barry Grant steering wheel or something like that. I'm not sure. So after putting some posts up on some of the forums for you know, Dodge Love owners and stuff like that, it got me sort of thinking, why don't I use my brain? So I did just that. I actually went on to the #1 Australian steering wheel manufacturer, aftermarket steering wheel manufacturer, SAS, SAAS. I went onto their website and I noticed that they did a sports steering wheel boss for a 1960 something Valiant EP5 and also the EP6. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, AP is Australian production. AP5 was the 5th model that was an Australian production, American design. And the Dodge Phoenix, I think if my memory serves me correct, is like an AP4 or AP2, I'm not sure. So it's built along the same lines as what the early Australian Valiants were. It got me thinking, maybe the column's the same. Now, I asked around for someone who might have had a spare sports steering wheel boss I could try out, no avail. But I have seen them on things like bash cars, variety car bash cars, the cars that built around the Outback. So I do know you can get them. So I thought what I'll do is I'll just message SAS and just tell them what I've got, and hopefully someone there with a bit of knowledge will be to come back. And sure enough, they did. And that's the beauty about reaching out to some of these companies. If you don't know, send them an email, tell them exactly what your situation is, because if they don't have what you need, they may be able to develop a product for you. The SAS response from their technical department was really detailed, saying yes, we do the sports steering wheel boss for the Dodge Phoenix, and it's the same as the AP5 and the AP6. Voila, I had my solution. So beautiful. Went on eBay, had a look, got a really good bargain, then got to use, and you've got to be careful when you buy on eBay, because some of the listings say take $5 off, take $10 off. You can actually get a coupon, apply it to your checkout price, and it brings the price down even more. And if you're buying something that has no postage on it, well, you know what? It's probably about as cheap as you're going to get anywhere in a shop or even buying from SAS Direct. So I got myself a really good steering wheel boss. But I've been keeping my eye on a certain type of SAS steering wheel as well. And this one was one I'd been looking at for a while. It's what I call period correct. Because let's face it, when you got a car like this 1963 Dodge, the last thing you want to do is put on a steering wheel that, let's face it, just doesn't look right. You know, something off of a current car with like airbag and paddle control, it just wouldn't look right. You need the right steering wheel for the right car. It needed to be a 15-inch steering wheel. This is about a 16, 17-inch, so I wanted a smaller diameter steering wheel. It needed pretty good. So I did my research, I found a steering wheel, and lo and behold, it's a SAS product. So that means it fits the SAS steering boss. Had a look on eBay. I'm looking on eBay. I noticed that there was one of the suppliers. They did a special, and a couple of days later, have a look at this. I've got my pizza box delivered. Now, you want to see the steering wheel? Check this out. Have a look at that. What do you think about that? Do you like the look of that one there? It's a nice period correct piece, and you can see it's going to sit in there really nicely, and it's really going to look really good, and it's going to give me probably about, I reckon, it's about an inch shorter, but with that thicker outer rim on it, it's so much easier to grip, as you can sort of see from my hand. So what I have to do now is put it on. Let's go home, put it on, and make the driving experience of this Dodge, and indeed any other car you might have, just that little bit better. Now I've got everything off the steering wheel, the horn's off. All I've got to do now is actually take the unit off the steering column. I've still got it set at its position. I've undone the nut, and this is the bit where I bang on the steering wheel, loosen off the splines. So cue the music. All right, okay, so I'm actually lying to you. This particular one needs a steering wheel puller, which I do have. I just like the music and wanted you to hear the beats. Grab the steering wheel puller, let's get it off. And this is my steering wheel puller. It's actually like a balancer puller and so forth, but it's got a couple of little spots for bolts to go into. And you know, if you're looking at and then with the right tool and the right operator, now this steering wheel is now ready to come off. All I have to simply do is undo the nut, which is already loose, like this. Take the retaining washer, keep these, we're going to need those. This is going to pull off. Let's get our steering wheel set up to go on before we take this off. All right, now the beauty about the SAS kit when you get one of those is it obviously comes with this. This is called a steering adapter in some countries. In Australia, we call them a steering boss, and they have a piece at the back where obviously the metal contact can go through for the horn to be connected. Now on top of this is what the steering wheel will actually bolt to. It bolts onto it much like that, and it's got holes here, so you can see how they match up. That's all nice and cool. On the back, it also actually has a divot on the boss that comes off that actually allows the indicators to be switched off. You want to pay attention as to where it is on the steering wheel you're taking off so you can position it correctly. Now the best thing about this is this steering wheel has what we'll call a 12 o'clock bolt position and a 6 o'clock bolt position. So that's going to be really easy to line up. You sit in the steering wheel and you work out where it goes. Not hard. You use left and right eyes, and trust me, it works, even if you've got one. Now, the other thing about the SAS kit I like is it comes with a different couple of little buttons. We're using the brushed aluminium style, so this is going to look pretty cool. It also comes with a little trim ring, and it also comes with, looking like the bullets for a gun, all of the stainless steel bolts to put it on. So everything we need is here for us to get this on. Let's do it. All right, and there we go. The steering wheel is now on. You can see it looks really good. That machine finish certainly is in keeping with the car. It really does look good. And this is why you need to choose a steering wheel that suits the car and a period correct style steering wheel. This one is actually from almost like a Ferrari old classic European style car, and it has an American feel in it with that black muscle car grip on it. So I'm pretty happy with the way this has actually come up. You can see just behind it here we have the tacho, on the other side we have the odometer temp gauge, and all things being equal, I'm really happy with the way the dash looks because I'm going to spend the most amount of time sitting here driving from this point. And when you're in an old car, you want to make sure you have as much fun as possible. And if you're out cruising, you know people are going to see the outside of the car and like the look of it, but you want to make sure it's comfortable inside. So the next step inside here is probably going to be to put a decent stereo system. It's one thing it does need. I'm probably going to put a couple of USB charging ports and just little bits and pieces like that. I do have to connect the heater as well. But that was it. This is just a nice little short, sharp and shiny episode. Oh, and the other thing as well is that I've still got the original steering wheel. So what will happen is I'm going to put this into storage. I'll put it somewhere where we can keep it and don't get rid of it, because if I ever do sell a car, which I won't, this is the original steering wheel for the car. So I think it's important to keep it together. Not hoarding parts by any stretch of the imagination, just keeping the originality of the car there. And right now, it's been personalised with a little piece of me. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I hope you like that. That's it. Short, sharp video today, just updating the steering wheel and how to do it. Hit like and subscribe if you're liking videos like this and you want to see more, because we can always come up with more content. Thanks for dropping by. I think we need to go for a cruise in it now. Steering wheels can be very personal things. They stay with you for a long time, and eagle-eyed viewers of the O2 Garage would have seen that whilst we're working in the garage, it's a bit of a mess at the moment, you might have spotted a steering wheel hanging on the wall. Did you ever see that? Can you see it? You see the steering wheel up there? Let's see if we can grab it. Oh no, I can't. I've put a lock on it. All right, let's stand on this dodgy looking thing here. Okay, so this steering wheel is actually a Nardi steering wheel. It's a wood grain steering wheel, and I actually got it from Japanese Motorsport, which was an importer of Japanese parts back in the late 90s, 2000s from Danny Verhoomis. It now has got a pretty significant crack in it, so it's really not a usable steering wheel. But back in the day, it was a really nice, comfortable wheel, very similar to what we've just put on the Dodge Phoenix at the moment. And I was into Escorts and Cortinas and things like that. And because that had like a Momo bolt pattern for the sport steering wheel, all I had to do was get the correct sport steering wheel, and I could interchange it between cars. So this wooden steering wheel, which was just beautiful to use, stayed with me on a number of cars. And that's what steering wheels are all about. They become very personal things that join you on the journey with your cars. So if you get a steering wheel, a sports steering wheel on an old car, hang on to it, because you can change it over onto other ones.